Hello everyone, this is Dr. Chen here. I'm going to review some basic trigonometry in this video. So trigonometry functions are the ratio of the sides of a right triangle. So we have triangle A, B, and C here. So this angle at corner C is a right angle. And we also know from geometry that triangles with the same angle theta have the same ratio. And there are actually 6 trigonometry functions. We are going to focus on 3, which is sine, opposite side over hypotenuse, cosine theta, adjacent side over hypotenuse, tangent theta, opposite side over adjacent side. To be clarified, see the side that is opposite of this right angle is hypotenuse. And if you have angle theta here, then the opposite side and the adjacent side. We can use these 9 letters to help us memorize how sine, cosine, and tangent are defined. So let's do one example to find the 3 trigonometry functions for the angle theta. So of course, first sine theta equals opposite side, which is opposite side over hypotenuse, right? And I say my opposite side is 8, hypotenuse 17. Okay, next, what is cosine of this angle theta? Will be adjacent side over hypotenuse 15 over 17. Then we want to find out what is tangent theta, which is opposite side over adjacent side 8 over 15. Pretty straightforward, right? Okay. Now we also have an important relation between the 3 sides of a right triangle, which state as the following: that if you have the sum of the squares of the length of the legs equals the squares of the length of the hypotenuse. So go back to the triangle we have. This is right angle, so this one is a hypotenuse. Let's call it C. Those are 2 legs. Opposite leg, let's call it A. Adjacent leg, call it B. And this sentence basically tells us the sum of the squares of the length of the legs. Okay, this is the sum of the squares of the legs A squared plus B squared equals the length square of the length of the hypotenuse C squared. So if you have a right triangle, you have side A, B, and C. C is the hypotenuse. We should have A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And this can help us calculate sides of the triangle even if we only know 2 sides. For example, in this example, we want to find out what's the 3 trigonometry function of angle theta. Now, of course, it's easy. For sine theta, is opposite side over hypotenuse, which are 2 numbers we already know. 1 over 3, opposite side is 1, hypotenuse 3. Okay, cosine theta is adjacent side over hypotenuse. But in this problem, we only know opposite side, hypotenuse. We didn't know adjacent side yet. The good news is that we have Pythagorean theorem, so we can use Pythagorean theorem to calculate that. So we can call this one A, B, C. Okay? So we should have the relation that A squared plus B squared equals C squared. We can solve for our B now. So B should be square root c squared subtract a squared equals c square root 9 plus 1 2 square root 2. So cosine theta should be adjacent side equals b2 square root 2 over 3. And then of course tangent theta equals opposite side over adjacent side equals 1 over 2 square root 2. And you can put it into calculator to find out what's the numerical value. Okay. Now this problem only gives us two numbers. One is this angle 30 degree and the other one tells us this hypotenuse is 10 centimeter. It asks us find out the other sides, opposite sides and adjacent side. Let's start with the opposite side. So if we want to find out the opposite side, you need to build an equation that has hypotenuse and this angle theta on opposite side, right? So you need an equation has theta and opposite side over hypotenuse. So what is opposite side over hypotenuse? What we remember, it should be sine theta if you can recall. So you already built up an equation that you know what is theta, what is hypotenuse. You can solve for your opposite side. So my opposite side is h times sine theta is, and sine 30 degree is 1/2, 10 times 1/2 centimeter is 5 centimeter. So opposite side is 5 centimeter. Now I need to find out what's the adjacent side. You can do the same thing. Cosine theta is adjacent side over hypotenuse. So your adjacent side is hypotenuse cosine theta, and adjacent side is hypotenuse times cosine theta, cosine 30 degree is, so cosine 30 degree is square root 2 square root 3 over 2. So it's 5 square root 3 centimeter. Okay, so as before, you can plug in those numbers into your calculator to find out what's the numerical value. So this is a very brief overview of trigonometry. So besides the definition, we need to, besides the definition, so you have a triangle, hypotenuse, then you can calculate your, adjacent side as a hypotenuse times cosine theta, and then your opposite side as hypotenuse sine theta. Of course, on the other hand, if you know your adjacent side and cosine theta, you can calculate your hypotenuse. If you know your opposite side and this angle, you can calculate hypotenuse as well. And then, if you know your opposite side, sorry, this is opposite side, this is adjacent side. So if you know any two sides, you can relate them through Pythagorean theorem. So we can infer, if you know any two sides, you can use this equation to find out the third side, which is unknown, and then you can calculate all the trigonometry function. Or if you know one side, one angle, just like the last example we did, you can also calculate all the quantity about this triangle.